and I have a bit of news for you that you have missed, but it is incredibly important and not positive, I'm afraid. Hi everyone, today we look at the latest acquisitions and contracts for Idex, so let's dive straight into it. And Idex has been approved as a supplier for Sourcewell. Later we are gonna have a look at what that means for Idex, and also another acquisition that Idex has done, and we're gonna describe what that means for the business going forward. But let's start from this contract from Sourcewell first. And so this contract is very interesting because it basically allows 50,000 organizations, including government, and this is why it's very big, to actually buy stuff from Wave charging solutions at a discount. And so that means that through Sourcewell, Idex will get a special treatment when companies decide to look for a solutions that Wave can provide. And that is very important. The sourcing process is very long and can take months. And also there is the selection with other suppliers. All of that can be skipped thanks to this contract. And to be extremely precise, this is the part that is skipped. So RFPs, bidding, and vendor selection process, all of that is gone. But this is not even the biggest bit of news. What most people do not know and have missed is this. These are the revenues of Sourcewell from in 2020, so we're talking about last year. These are the best, obviously, data that we have at the time of recording. $102 million. That is how much Sourcewell has spent, and it's really important because obviously a slice of that may become part of the Idex revenue, and that is very important because Idex at the time of recording is not profitable. And speaking of not being profitable, Idex has actually got one company that is actually profitable, and I have a bit of news for you that you have missed, but it is incredibly important and not positive, I'm afraid. Company subsidiary Timius Holdings experienced a systems outage that it was caused by a cybersecurity incident. Now, I'm not gonna read everything to you verbatim, but basically they are investigating the cybersecurity incident, and based on the information currently known, the company is unable to predict at this time whether revenues will be materially impacted by this attack. And so make of that what you want, because at the time of recording we do not know if that is gonna be an incredibly bit of news that will cause maybe the revenues to go down, and we know that, as I told you, Idex is not profitable. And Timius unfortunately happened to be the one company making most of the revenues in the first quarter of 2020. Now, looking forward, we know that Idex is gonna release their earnings report soon, and so that's what we're gonna talk about in the next video. So stick around because that's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna tell you everything about it. Now, as I promised you, another bit of news that is very important. Ideanomics buys 30% stake in FREETRADE Electronics for about $9 million. Now, FREETRADE is a very interesting company that we're gonna talk about later in the video. Now, FREETRADE is a quite big company, and in fact, not many people have looked at it. And at the time of recording, the revenue is $180 million, guys. Their revenues are much bigger than Idex, actually. And why has Idex bought a stake in this company? Well, Alf Poor from Ideanomics has not released a reason why they did it, but there's been a bit of speculation, and so let's have a look at it, shall we? So Idex invested in FREETRADE Electronics Automotive, a business unit within the FREETRADE Group, a German manufacturer. But what's really important is that this company has developed a high-power EV charging infrastructure solution that is expected to be available in 2023, guys. Not today, not tomorrow, in 2023. Now, the main reason why Idex is actually trying to do that is to be able to keep tabs on their competitors, because this way, you know, they have a place in the board of directors, which is where you want to be, to know all the secrets, and this way Wave can stay ahead of the game. So this calls for a question. Is it a good time to buy Idex before their earnings? Well, looking at the chart, Idex has really gone down from all-time highs, and we are looking at earnings that last time it was a positive, obviously, type of earning, as you can see here. And then after that, we saw a run up for a 44%, which was really good. And today we are more or less at the same price, looking at where we stand. Now, Idex earnings will be on the 16th of August, and so this week will be a very important one, and we will look at what's gonna happen and trading around earnings is always a very tricky situation, because if the revenues overperform and the profit, well, in this case revenues, but if the revenues are higher than the expectation, the stock will go up, otherwise it will go down. But this is not always the case, and in fact I recommend, if you want to take my opinion, to not trade around earnings, because it's basically like gambling. This is not financial advice, but that's what I normally do. And remember that Idex is a very speculative play, and I've made another video that you see on the screen right now where it's about all the red flags of Idex. Click on the video and I'll see you there. This new camera is so cool.